I had a really nice time yesterday going on a very long walk and just making audio recordings and the voice memos on my phone. Just exploring the past. I was looking over about 10 years or so. It's really cool to have voice recordings from, somewhere between like 5 and 7 years ago. It's really cool. It is. And it's also cool to just like continue the the craft. I'd like to call it a craft of just putting together voice memos of documenting. It's really what it's about. So yeah, I had a good time putting together audio recordings in my voice memos yesterday, and I was talking a lot about, I'd say, the past decade. A lot has changed. A lot has changed. Um, it's nice to like reflect and everything and just realize what things were like back then. My life was very different a decade ago. I was very dissociated. There was still a lot of anxiety. Um, I almost don't really remember the anxiety, and I think that this is a beautiful thing about healing. On my journey of healing, things have just shifted so much. They've completely transformed, and to an extent, I am like now unrecognizable to myself from what I was about 10 years ago. Um, but yeah, it's interesting. I suppose I'll explore kind of like what I was talking about in the audio recording, the voice recordings. Um, I feel like over the past decade, life has kind of like flown by. You know, kind of just I reflect and I look at the family members that are no longer here and everything, and just the kind of, I don't know. I think that in the earlier part of the decade, I struggled to be present. I had a really hard time being present. I had also not even started my journey of healing. I don't even think that I started exploring any of my trauma in a professional setting yet. Um, actually, I did, but I was just starting. And it's like it's 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 just so strange to look back over a decade and like realize how much has changed. There are a lot of feelings of nostalgia, and that's kind of like I've been sitting with nostalgia for about a week now, and I've been realizing that nostalgia is there to like show me what it is that I need, either that I need moving forward or that I need again. I realize that there are things that I was doing earlier on in my life that I stopped as a result of perfectionism. Really cool things. I'm an artist in many different forms. I'm a musician. Um, I make short films and stuff. I love acting. Acting is a really cool craft. I am a visual artist. I draw. Um, I write. I do. Um, and previously in my life, perfection is something that stopped me from finishing stuff. Fortunately, I learned that the reason that I struggle to finish things is because all or nothing thinking. Don't even have to really call it perfectionism. You can call it perfectionism because I feel like whatever it is that I'm creating has to be perfect in order for me to be able to put it out. Um, but it's really all or nothing thinking. It's it has to be fantastic, or else I can't put it out. And it's like, no, it doesn't. Because when you first start something, when you're learning, it's not going to be the best that you can make it, because you're not the best that you can be. I am not the best that I can be at, I don't know, music. However, I'm better now than I was 10 years ago. I started producing music, I'd say, about 10 years ago now. Um, and, for me, it's like I want it to be pristine when I first start. And it's like, I don't know, it doesn't really work that way. So I'm kind of like healing and integrating these parts of me that are really on the side of like perfectionism, right? All or nothing kind of stuff. Just allowing myself to realize, no, you're good enough, and that's good enough, and whatever it is that you're creating is good enough, and you can put it out, and it'll be good enough, and you know, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, whatever it is that you're creating will look different. It'll probably look or sound better because you've learned more, and therefore that's allowed you to do things differently and better, and therefore the quality will be better. Um, at this point on my journey of healing, what I've really started to realize is that the more present I can allow myself to be, the more joyous my experiences of life will be. And I don't even have to be doing anything just like out of this world or crazy or like whoa, like no, just going for a walk, making sure that my feet are on the ground. As far as I know, I cannot walk on air. Until that day arrives, I'm going to be walking on ground. Yeah. But, feeling my feet on the ground as I walk. That's what it's about. Just being present. Like right now, like, just feeling myself grounded. That's what it's all about. I think presence is one of the coolest things to feel on my journey of healing for me, because previously I was just so dissociated. I was completely like out of touch and everything. Disconnected from myself, my body, and everything. I was not present in my body. I was in Wonderland. Not really, just kidding. No, I was probably in some type of hell. Mentally and emotionally, but I was disconnected from my body. Um, yeah, I'm just really doing the best that I can to be present in each moment, because presence is important to me now. The more present I am, the more grounded I am. The more grounded I am, the more just altogether having a good time I am. Presence is something that I couldn't really previously experience because of how dissociated I was in life. And, yeah, life isn't that way anymore. And as a result of it not being that way anymore, I am now present and just dropping those shoulders, relaxed. I like dropping those shoulders. It's nice. And I find myself doing this on like an almost regular basis. Just like, I'll find myself slightly tense, and I'll just be like, drop those shoulders, my friend. It's just. And something else I've noticed too is that whenever I drop my shoulders, I find that I can drop my shoulders even more and let go of the tension in my brow. Maybe also loosen my jaw. Yeah. Yeah. Healing is cool because you realize things you didn't previously know. You start to see life differently. you start to well, I should talk about from my own experiences. I start to realize that everything that I thought was previously intimidating is not at all intimidating. There's really nothing to be scared of at all. There's nothing. There's not one single thing to be scared of out there. Just enjoy each moment of life. Just be present. Just breathe in, breathe out, and be present. Be present with everything. The more present I am with life, the more life fully communicates with me.